Ooh. And we're not gonna talk about it, y'all, because I'm done. Mississippi Senator proposes bill to ban men from ejaculating without intent to fertilize an embryo. Oh, oh, I like that. I like that. I feel like we should balance it out. I like that. I feel like we should absolutely balance this shit out. If we y'all want to be making all of these rules for people's bodies and trying to punish women for having children out of wedlock and all of that weird puritanical bullshit y'all like to promote, girl, yeah. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Give me money. Oh, you shooting up the club, huh? Give me money. Okay, you shoot up the club, my nigga. Give me $1,000. You want to shoot up a bitch cool, huh? Give me $1,000 right now. Oh my God. Listen, we need that implemented all over the place. I bet you niggas would get more responsible with your ejaculation then, huh? Man, I remember a man got so mad with me when I said that shit. I said, oh, not you being mad that I'm saying we should implement laws that control your dick. Like, that's wild. That's wild. Motherfucker was mad. He was upset. Yeah, he was so mad. And I was just like, I mean, if y'all are gonna be telling women that they should be punished for having sex outside of wedlock, shouldn't you men be punished for it as well financially? Y'all are protectors and providers in this traditional system. Y'all are trying to recreate that never was. So if that's the case, oh girl, before I go, can I pull up my TikTok with y'all before I go? Because I was, just scrolling through TikTok, because I'm glad that it's still alive and shit. Shout out to the girl that's alive. Please don't misunderstand. I feel like I always said it was a scheme. And which means I'm gonna just enjoy these things as I can, you know what I'm saying? Do my job, which is to get up here and help y'all think. Also to entertain y'all, you know what I'm saying? Whatever I am for you, that's what I'm supposed to be here for. Okay.
The last thing I'm gonna say.
Hold on. Okay, hold up. Christian women only. Okay. So we have these conversations all the time because I feel like puritanical mindsets about life are problematic and dangerous. And I don't think it's something we should promote, but y'all do it in all of these little ways. And then when we have conversations about it, you feel like all you have to do is just kind of like, oh, this is what God wants. And then it's fine. Okay. So I found this little Caucasian girl on the TikTok called Jubilee Dawns, and her page is very interesting because she used to be in a cult. And so I've just started to listen to her page and I just wanted to share it with y'all. And I feel like I'm going to be doing that a lot more in order for us to remove ourselves from the news, which can be overwhelming at this point, and it will be extremely exhausting, and it won't help but to permeate. If you're paying attention to what's going around you, it's gonna affect you. It is what it is. Like, you can't help it. That's why I think it's so funny when people act like, oh, all of the things Trump was going to do is not going to affect me. I'm like, energetically, yes, it is. That's something that a lot of people don't talk about from the civil rights movement. It was dark. The energy across the entire country, even for white people, was not very good. That's why when you watch old movies and you listen to the jazz that was created in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, a lot of that music was very almost cartoonish with how happy they wanted things to sound. Cartoons and movies, all this dancing and jumping up and down. And it was really because they wanted to incite a feeling that people weren't getting on a day-to-day basis because life was so fucking glum. Life was very glum for the people prior to your 70s, 80s, 90s. That is when shit starts to lighten up in this country. But to be clear, between Reconstruction and Jim Crow and the Civil Rights Movement, the country was in a very dark place that permeated to everybody in the country, whether you were black or white. And everybody forgets about that. So as we go on in this, and energy permeates through, and we be feeling how we be feeling and all of that type of shit, I'm going to be coming to y'all with the interesting things that I find on TikTok that people are doing stories on. So this is one of those things. So I'm gonna play this for you. We'll have a little conversation and I'll get off of here. Okay. And I'm also gonna need for y'all to really get over the whole mice thing in the comments. Like, get over it. It's over now. It's okay.
Because I am back with more purity culture comments that will make you want to scream. Starting with, my Mormon ex-husband told me that he would rather that I was unalived than raped because I would be committing adultery. I am so glad he is your ex-husband. As a busty teenager, my mom's rule for necklines was that I had to bend over in a mirror, and if I wasn't comfortable with my dad seeing what was in the reflection, then the shirt was too low cut. What would dad think? From the same commenter, another time I was on a dad and daughter date with my dad, and he joked that there was something between us when we hugged. It was my chest. I had a professor in Bible college who said if you were SA'd, then you were biblically married to that person, and therefore you should never be with anyone else ever again. Senior year in my Christian school, the boys and the girls...
Oh, I just want to say, y'all, I'm so sorry. I forgot about Cheryl Underwood. So we will talk about her in another video. I'll probably, just take that out of the title. Sorry about that, y'all, but I forgot, and I thought I had saved it, but I didn't. And I talked about Flo and Amara on my members only Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and Miami review that I did yesterday. I discussed all of the stuff with Amara and Flo. And if you want to see that, you can go to my Patreon and purchase it, or you can become a member. It's up to you. But yes, just so we know, I'll be taking Cheryl out of the thing because I think I saved her, but it didn't show up. And I'll come back to it.
Separated for the talk. The girls were told that it was a sin to touch themselves, but it was okay for the boys because they couldn't help it. When I was 12, I put on a pair of satin sleeve shorts and a matching shirt before bed. My mom shamed me and said that I was only allowed to wear them in my room. She then said I was wearing them around the house to show off for my brothers. My pastor told me and my boyfriend in high school that if we were bold enough to hold hands in church, that must mean that we were sleeping together in private. Our volleyball coach talked to us about purity, and that she practiced this by physically covering her husband's eyes when they were around other women wearing leggings to protect him and his soul. My mom found out I was having spicy conversations with my partner and thought that I was addicted to porn, which led her to sending me to therapy. Wow. I was literally brought to the front of the class and told that I was lying in front of 60 other teens because I said that I never thought about. The public shaming repeated itself for months. I am asexual. My daughter's school in 2022 called all the 8th grade girls into a special lecture in gym class to tell them that it wasn't fair to male staff to wear short shorts.
Wow.
At 12 years old in church, they separated the boys and the girls for a lesson. The girls passed around a tub of white frosting that was supposed to represent our purity. Everyone put sprinkles in the frosting. This was supposed to reflect every time we let a boy touch us. They stirred it around and the frosting turned a murky green color. Then they asked if we wanted our future husband to open a pure white tub of frosting or a murky green one. The boys just played random games. Keep them coming, guys.
So yeah, Jubilee Dawns, I thought I had followed her, is a content creator on TikTok that was in a cult that was obsessed with purity. And I tell y'all all the time that essentially those same, mindsets trickle in. This is why y'all think that being a baby mama is so bad versus being a wife. It's why, it's why everybody what the echo thing. Yeah, it's not that bad. Like, it's not that bad. Like, I've listened to it. It doesn't feel like it's like doing the it's just like a slight echo. Anyway, but her commentary is her speaking on her experience, but also reading comments of other women who have had some of these very crazy things happen to them or said to them because of the way people react to a girl or women being pure. And that just kind of translates in our society. And I think it's harmful. And I think it's dumb when you really think about it. You're not a fucking tub of icing. You're a person. You're a person. Okay. And like I told y'all about your girl Bonnie, okay, Bonnie Blue, the porn star, not me, girl, Bondy. My name is Bondi with a D, with a Y, not an I, not an E, girl, with a Y. Okay. But either way, the young girl is over there, giving herself to all of the people. And if she doesn't have like a STD, herpes, if she doesn't have anything like that from it, It's probably not stretched her out to have sex with all of those little, medium to small penis men that paid to come in and fuck her one after one another. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, April, for becoming a member. I appreciate you. Thank you. Um okay. No, I appreciate it. Sometimes I mute myself, but if I mute myself, sometimes I forget to unmute myself, girl. So sometimes I'm just like, girl, y'all be all right. Hold up. Purity culture failed. I don't know why people think it was successful or can be successful, especially if society continues to socialize men the way it does. Also, the idea that people are supposed to like not have sex or not be sexual. Like some people aren't, and that's fine. But some people and a lot of people are. So the shaming and punishing that is done is usually an internal thing that is then projected. So when you see women online, and I say, hold up, girl, let me go to it. Hold up. Because that was one of the things that I saved was something that I saw that was very puritanical and dumb. And so it then brought me back to the TikTok. You guys do not care that women aren't married before pregnancy. You just want to feel above someone, kick someone down and shame them. It's so obvious the way you guys talk. That was the original, that was a response to Kennedy B, who looks very stank in her Abby, you know. She says, being pregnant before you get married deserves to be shamed. And I'm a baby mama myself. And even I can admit that. And I'm like, yeah, no. That's why I said self-hate is a thing. And it's like, so you think because you're a baby mama and you've internalized the shame and guilt that has been projected onto you in your life, you think that validates that fact. And so you should then project that onto other women, and everybody should feel shame because they aren't married before they have children. Even though we all have sex and sex equals children, we don't all get married because we all don't have the same value system in marriage, which it's supposed to be an option in a free country. It's supposed to be an option, girl. It's supposed to be an option. And so that's what I'm saying. This mentality of it is shameful that a woman is pregnant before she becomes a wife. I think that comes from that puritanical mindset. And the puritanical mindset is one that is really just a scapegoat for men doing what they want and women being beholden to that. And I think, if anybody would just pay attention to history, you would learn we tried a lot of these things. They do not work. Trying to be pure is unrealistic. People are sexual beings. The only reason you're here on earth is because of sex. People are going to want to have sex. Being responsible and being choosy does not mean that you have to be abstaining in order to have self-respect. And men not wanting to take care of children is not always a signifier that something is shameful about the woman. No, it means that women are physically having the babies. So where else are the babies going to go? Initially, they're going to be with the mothers. That's just how this is going to work. So because sex is an act that doesn't always equate to a baby, people are going to be out here fucking and surprised when they have babies, even though they didn't want them and they still had unprotected sex. And a lot of times, because women are the ones walking around with the bodies, they understand that if they get pregnant, I'll take care of the baby. The man who doesn't have to be responsible for something because it's not connected to his body does not understand the responsibility of, I don't really want it, but if it happens, I'll take care of it. That's not like a regular thought process for men the way it is for women. So when we talk about this, this responsibility and people say shit like, oh, well, she didn't want the baby, she shouldn't have had sex. It's like, well, he had sex with her too. That should be the same thing for him. But no, for him, you feel like he don't want the baby, so she should have to do something different, like have, a procedure, or we should just put shame and guilt on her because she did not stop the sex from happening. I guess all puritanical mindsets that I feel like are problematic and that are regressive and don't help anybody have a better life. It just shames and guilts people about the things that are actually normal and natural to them. And then when you do that, it creates this mania behind it. Keep telling a person not to think about sex, not to talk about sex. All they're going to think about and talk about is sex. If you have a more balanced understanding, it's a part of life. It's enjoyable. It can sometimes be fun, but it is also something that you should take seriously because it has all of these nuances to it as a pleasurable experience, it can also end up not being pleasurable. So you have to be mindful because it is something that should be taken with a lot of consideration. You can have that mindset on sex without feeling the extreme of no sex means you respect. No. How you do it matters. Okay? How you do it matters. Yes, and two parents is not always the best choice. It's not. It's not. Sorry. Some men are not safe for households. Some men were meant for their sperm and nothing else. And there are men that don't have kids and are better fathers sometimes. So I think we feel like just because physically someone can do something, that means that they should. No, no, I don't agree. Okay. Um, just like that teenager that has to apologize to the church for getting pregnant, the father didn't have to apologize. Exactly. And so when we have the mentality that the men don't have to be punished, the boys don't have to be punished, but the girls have to be shamed and guilted, what ends up happening here? You have a society of boys and men that are still going to be able to pressure and convince women to have sex before they're ready or against what's best for them out of wanting validation from men and coercion. You see what I'm saying? So everybody got to be on the same page, or it's not gonna work. And everybody's not on the same page. Okay. Um, I don't listen, and that's the thing. I don't think people should shame people who value marriage either. I don't think that's actually happening. That's not what's actually happening. People aren't actually going around shaming people who are married. Like that's not happening. But what you do find is that people will put marriage on a pedestal when it doesn't secure anything. That's what you will find is that people will often feel like, "Oh, I got married. That makes me better." And then you have people that are like, "No, not really. Not really." Especially if the husband or the wife doesn't value the marriage the way the other person does, meaning that, for instance, Yandy and Mendices. Yandy values the marriage more than Mendices does. Because when Mendices decided to take his ring off and say that they weren't married, even though they are still legally married, he was able to do so without any shame or guilt. I don't like you right now, so we not married. Yandy didn't have that same mindset about it. She actually felt so strongly about it that she was projecting her insecurities in her marriage onto Rashida and Kirk's side chick, Jasmine. So she cares about marriage. She does, but he doesn't. So then what ends up happening? He doesn't care, so he does what he wants to do. She cares so much that she's willing to embarrass herself and get involved in other people's relationships because of how much she values marriage. And then somebody can come in and be like, bitch, you value it, but your husband don't because he out here on the streets doing this, this, and that. That's why the judgment shouldn't happen. That's why Yandy should be quiet. And you valuing marriage should be showcased within your marriage and you not fucking married people. If that's how you feel. To me, if you really value marriage, value your own marriage and respect when other people are married and don't try to fuck them. That's it. That's all you can really do. But the idea that every woman that doesn't want marriage or a woman that is a single parent, like the way women who have children are judged when they don't have a marriage certificate latched on to them. Yeah, I don't think that's the same.